Since 2002, this lovable creature behind me has been my comfort. My comfort alien, my comfort monster, my comfort movie. It is one that I can probably still quote in my sleep to this day. One that I'm super excited to see, knowing that some of the original cast is included in this, including the person who came up with the soundtrack back in the 2002 as well. So there's some excitement around it. Now, I have been a fan not just since 2002, not just since the first movie, not since just the sequel, but also playing 625's Sandwich Stack on Disney, as well as following the TV series that came out from this as well. The original 2002 film was inspired by the 1940s, starting off as a children's book that Chris Sanders could not get kicked off the ground. He ultimately ended up pitching it to Disney, who accepted and allowed him to play with watercolors, 2D animations, and styles that had not been seen since the 1940s Disney animation, which to this day a lot of those films still hold up, and we need to bring back the original aspects that a lot of film creators have with their own work. It's so adorable. As the teasers and trailers were dropped, the closer it got to release date, a lot of people started getting some controversies over it, from the casting of Nani, from the way that Jumbo and Pleakley were no longer being aliens, including the way that Pleakley never wears drag, even though that was Pleakley's kind of whole brand in the original movie. The director has come forward and said, I did try to fight for Pleakley's clothing, but Disney said no. Now, in recent years, we have learned that Disney has a very solid opinion on certain, well, minorities. So there's a battle that we always keep fighting. Like I said, some of the casting was the same, from bringing Chris Sanders back as the voice of Stitch. I have heard not just the teasers and the trailers, but also his little interviews. And there is some slight differences in the way that Stitch is voiced. But I do put it down just to the fact that vocals do age, and the more you do various voices over your career, the more it's harder to find that vocal range that you're so used to doing. We've learned that with plenty of voice actors over the years, and Simpsons is the first one that comes to mind, where a lot of their voice actors had to retire due to the way that their vocal range cannot do particular voices anymore. But Chris Sanders is back, which is great. We also have Tia Kamari, who was the original voice of Lilo, returning, but this time she's a supporting character rather than the cute little girl herself. Mia Kaloa, who plays the cute little Lilo. I have seen not only the teasers, the trailers, but also her interviews. She's clearly so excited to bring this character to life, and she seems to be doing a great job. We've got Zach Galifianakis and Billy Magnuson, who portray the human version of Jumbo and Pleakley, which is very different. I mean, everyone else in this list is relatively unknown, and having two big names play aliens as their human versions feels a bit disappointing, but we'll continue on. We've got Kaipo Dudlett, who is Nani's love interest, David. Now, we all know what David is like. He's the cute little guy that just does not have the lights on, but it does take him a hot minute to realize what's going on. And of course, instead of having Vin Rhames voice Cobra Bubbles like he did in the 2002 film, we now have Courtney B. Vance, who brings to life Cobra Bubbles. Now, for me, when I think of Cobra, I think of the type of guy who I would not like to cross paths with, because his demeanor brings this whole, I will kick your ass just for looking at me. Whereas Courtney's interpretation, looking at him, I'm just like, oh, I mean, I would shake your hand. I would let you help me cross the street, but like, I'm not scared of you. But it'll be interesting. So let me tell you my opinion of Lilo and Stitch. So as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, Lilo and Stitch is my comfort movie. This is the one movie that, regardless of how bad of a day I'm having, how good of a day I'm having, how much I'm just not in the mood to watch a movie, this is my baby, okay? This is my go-to. This is my, like, I will die on this hill movie. So, like I said, I went into this with an open mind, knowing full well that I may or may not like this, because Disney does not have, you know, a good track record with live actions. Let me start by saying this movie attempts to hit nostalgia purposes. there are moments where it's beat by beat of the 2002 movie, but there's also moments, where it's completely original and it stretches out these characters and their storylines. There are some elements you sit there questioning, going, why did you add you? Like Cobra Bubbles. Now Courtney Vance probably is a great actor. This just not was a role for him. And I say that because in the 2002 film, Cobra Bubbles is this big scary baddie who's seen as a social worker until it's revealed that he's in actual cahoots with the aliens. He works for the CIA, he knows how to keep all that under wraps. He knows about Area 51. I mean, that doesn't exist at all. Shh. This Cobra Bubbles, he's just there. He doesn't do anything. So it's quite disappointing. Zach Galifianakis, oh my god, can we get rid of Zach Galifianakis? Him as Jumbo ruins it. Like, I'm not even kidding, I'm so disappointed in Jumbo. Also, Jumbo's character design looks like a penis. A very unhealthy penis, but a penis nonetheless. But like the whole time I was like, where's Jumbo's like vocals? He kind of has this deep voice that doesn't sound too deep, but definitely is on that octave of deepness. It's gone. It just sounds like Zach. And I'm like, he ruins Jumbo. Billy Magnussen, who plays Bleakley, does an alright job. At times I was like, oh, you're Alan Tudyk. Like, you know, the guy that is famous for doing a lot of Disney movies. He plays Hee and other characters that we all know because he's like a goofball. At times it's like, oh, you're just him. You're just pretending to be him. It's great. But the vocals for Bleakley, it was almost like he was trying to be Stitch, but forgot that he's not a Stitch character. So it kind of was like, am I listening to Chris Sanders or am I listening to you? Like, who am I hearing in my ear? Because you're trying to be Chris Sanders. Like, you're just that octave in that same vocal range. Just, Sydney, who plays Nani, she does an alright job. She tries to capture the whole point of Nani, who is that big sister, confusion of a mother figure type of character. She tries her hardest. And I will give her credit there. But again, I feel like Nani wasn't written as well as she was written in 2002. I feel like there's elements of Nani missing that makes it a struggle. Also helps that Nani is a lot more, I don't want to say fleshed out, but there's definitely elements of her that are original that we did not see in the animated movie. So you sit there going, wait, Nani's into marine biology? What? Like, how did we go from Nani struggling to find jobs to us all of a sudden Nani being huge into marine biology? Where did that jump come from? The cute little Maya who plays Lilo, she is so adorable. She does a great job. If she continues acting, I hope she does. She's so cute. And then you got Chris Sanders, who's back as Stitch. Again, like, there's a lot of elements. To me, this feels like it's less about the aliens and more about family and how important family is, regardless of how small or big it is. It does add extra characters, because apparently David has a mother that we need to care about. You know, or is it a grandma? I'm not too sure, but Amy Hill's in it. Look, I love Amy. She pops up randomly in movies I watch, but I kind of didn't really understand the purpose of her character. It tries to hit the nostalgic beats. There are elements, like I said before, where you're like, yes, I know this scene. I can like verbally quote this scene without you having to like do the vocals for it. But there's other scenes where it's added and it's just more let down. There are moments where, like I said, it's very less focused on the aliens. The only one we need to care about is Stitch, and that's what its main focus is on, which is fine. But Jumbo and Bleakley are kind of just there. Cobra Bubbles is just there. The command center is kind of just there, which kind of feels disappointing. But overall, I don't hate Lilo and Stitch. Would this be a movie that I would revisit in the future? Quite possibly. But right now, I think I may need a second watch just to be like, okay, did you scratch that itch that I wanted you to scratch? Or am I just doing it because I've said that this is my comfort movie? Like, it's that fine balancing line that I'm not sure where it sits. So that's my review on Lilo and Stitch. And now I have an hour to wait until Mission Impossible. So, until then, go check out Lilo and Stitch and tell me what you thought of it.